All right, guys. Game 3. Vega up 2-0. Team Spirit facing elimination. Vega facing the possibility of joining Vici, J, IG, and Newbie on LAN May 18th in Shanghai. Spirit with first pick, Kefka. They're going to go back for FNG's Tusk.
My only explanation for this is that this is like these teams know each other super well, and this is like some really next level stuff going on. Like I'm pretty sure Vega plays Tusk a ton, and they really don't want them to have it, or so, like it has to be something more than just them liking Tusk this early. Like,
well, FNG plays it, and he is the drafter.
Yeah, I mean, here is great and all, but it's been lackluster this series.
Yeah, I don't think Vega has played much Tusk either, from what I've seen, at least in this tournament. So
yeah, like I feel like there's something that it's specifically between these two teams. Otherwise, I feel like why are you picking Tusk this early every time? But you know that you're struggling with it, so it seems like you should normally just switch it up. So.
All right, Spirit going to pick the Iceberg Sniper here. This was very effective against Na'Vi yesterday. They won both games with the Sniper. Had a good front line in front of it. They will finally ban out the Earth Spirit away from Sioma. So no Pudge, no Earth Spirit for Sioma. We'll see what he gets his hands on. And his hands have been filthy this series. And all day long, he's been easily MVP caliber for Vega. So we'll see what they can put his adept or skillful abilities with. But yeah, Sniper early on for Team Spirit. Iceberg seemed very comfortable on this hero. We'll see if they can assemble a good enough front line in front of him. Already he's gonna face the potential for a Legion Commander duel, and maybe though with no Earth Spirit on the board, the Tusk can be nearby with a snowball save.
Yeah, I like the Earth Spirit ban finally. I feel like Tusk's main problem was the Earth Spirit silence over anything. So I feel like, okay, now we're gonna see the Tusk, and he's not gonna be played against this Earth Spirit that really destroyed him in every single way, almost, like both in laning stage, but also in team fights. It's so easy to silence the Tusk. Yeah. So I really like to see this Tusk now without the Earth Spirit. Maybe it will look amazing now suddenly, and we're like, what was he doing the first 2 games? You know, so. I think this is probably going to be a better Tusk game than it 2 previously, and I think the draft is already looking a bit better, even though it's only the first stage. Warlock banned as well, so that we're not going to see that hero again. And Slark ban also very good against Sniper, so I think it's better.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's going to stay this way later in the draft as well.
Part of me expects some sort of Ricky Lifestealer or something like that to come out from Vega. I still feel like they need some sort of AoE to cover, you know, whether it be a Static Storm or the Smoke Screen, to cover that Legion duel with the Tusk nearby, because that could be, you know, could really throw a wrench into their chain of initiation.
I think Ricky is a super scary pick against Team Spirit. I think that hero is quite underrated. I mean, Boboka showed that that hero is actually viable, or maybe it was just Boboka being Boboka, but still, I think that hero is viable for sure, and I think it sounds like a great replacement for their Spirit against Tusk, specifically, and also good against Sniper and all of this stuff.
Yeah, Sniper definitely feels susceptible mid lane to some Ricky rotations, or at least just a harass to deny him some farm early on. But we'll see what direction Vega go in. As you mentioned, the Slark ban, another good hero to get in the face of the Sniper alongside the Legion.
Yeah, Lifestealer is still in, Ursa's ban, Troll is in. I don't remember what were the bans. Oh, this hero is nice. I think this is a fine pick. I would have liked Ricky more, but this is one of those 4 positions that I talked about that I think are in that pool, and this is a new hero. So I think the meta has not been truly established regarding like items and how to play this hero, because I see a lot of like I've seen all 3 skills being skill level 1.
Yeah.
Like in different games, so there's like no clear way to play this hero yet, and I'm interesting to see every game you see this hero is like a bit different.
The support duo revealed for Vega. Troll Warlord is definitely something that Team Spirit runs a lot with their Sniper, so keep it on the radar. He also often, for BZZ, will build Diffusal Blade against the Living Armor. So yeah, it's definitely a potential pick for them here. It also would have worked nicely with the Legion Commander, so something to deny away from Vega.
Yeah, there's a lot of offliners left for Spirit though. We have like Centaur, you have Axe we saw earlier. Even something like Abaddon maybe could be good. You get like a frontliner that can transition into core. It's also pretty good against Treant. There's a lot of option. Nyx could be great, I think, against CM. We saw CM being way too good last game, I think. Like it was a bit too free for Silent. So maybe something that can actually be good against Crystal Maiden. Maybe you want something harder, no more lane pressure in that case. But definitely a lot of option. But DK Phobos hero pool is like a bit in a. I'm not too sure about it because he plays weird heroes. Like we saw the Night Stalker. I think he played Spirit Breaker yesterday. If I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Tusk Spirit Breaker. Yeah.
Yeah. So he has like these weird heroes. So I'm not sure what his hero pool is. If it's small in this weird heroes or if it's actually pretty big.
Okay, so there's the DS. I was gonna perhaps point out the Timbersaw that we saw in game 1 for Aloha Dance. Maybe that would have worked out for Spirit here. They definitely need some frontline. Kind of works well against the 2 strength heroes of Vega, but Darkseer similarly works well against multiple melee heroes. No yet, major combo. Vax Snowball is decent, I suppose, but no major combo there just yet. It's good to get rid of the living armor for sure.
Yeah, you have some potential in being very aggressive in lanes as well now. Like your lanes are already looking stronger than they have been before. Mirvana picked. Yeah, this was banned every game, all the games, right? Or like the 2 previously games.
Yep.
Instead of the Earth Spirit. I guess Shark is new also, but Earth Spirit mainly have been swapped with the Mirana, I guess, is the easiest way to explain it. So that's interesting. There's not a setup for Mirana though, like in laning stage. Do you have Legion later? Or like they can like play around, but Treant is not a hero that really roams well with a Mirana,
Yeah.
So might be hard in lane for Vega.
They could always drop down a trail of Iron Branch tree. Lane.
Yeah, I've only seen that work once though. I'll see about that. It's something I play like Treant a little bit. I'm like always like, do I buy branches and try it? But I'm like, it's probably pretty bad. I feel like it should be bad.
Yeah, he's not a hero that probably sees his greatest effectiveness toward the mid lane. Definitely not, at least early on.
Yeah, it's really a hero that can only push the side lanes. That's how I view it at least. And I haven't seen in a competitive game it being in another way. So, but it could be interesting to see it. Team Spirit though, picking lifesteal. I love the draft this game compared to the other games.
Yeah, I think
so I feel like this is definitely the game you take. You turn it around.
Yeah, this feels a lot better for Spirit. Certainly, they have the surge to get the lifestealer in. He can also purge off the overgrowth, which is really the only thing that can control him through rage, other than duel. And certainly Lifestealer is not afraid of a duel for the most part.
One of the better heroes against duel of the meta carries, so to say. But it is also Legion is kind of good as Lifestealer in the same way. It's just that you don't die to a blade mill randomly while you're split pushing. In the same way, if you're playing a Juggernaut, you're split pushing, you can have like 30k net worth, and the Legion with 16k net worth is gonna still solo kill you. That's not the case with Lifestealer, so that's a bit nicer, But so the last picks are a carry for Vega. I'm assuming they play Mirana mid, right? And it's not a carry.
Yeah, usually G picks it up.
Yeah. And Spirit needs another support, which is a 5, which can be anything. I don't know what would be good.
Lion.
Yeah, Lion. I think whatever. Honestly, they could pick like Witch Doctor or Lion. Disruptor was banned.
Yeah, I think. Disruptor was banned. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Disruptor is like the hero you go to in this stage, but it was banned. So I'm pretty sure that ban was also like, let's just ban Disruptor. That's like the most common heroes left.
All right, so we're looking for the Aloha Dance hero for Vega.
Yeah.
I kind of like Weaver, honestly, in this scenario, just because he doesn't care too much about the Darkseer. He's good against the Lifestealer, but...
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to mention Juggernaut, but you decided to talk about Weaver, so I'm going to say I would have been correct. It's just good against Darkseer.
Tough pick, Juggernaut,
Yeah,
I mean, Healing Ward, there's only so many heroes, right? Anti-Mage, Lifestealer, Juggernaut, who can deal with the Darkseer in lane, so...
I actually think Weaver could have been good for the sole reason that there's only Lion Lifestealer in Fest Bomb. So like you don't have actually, if you had like an offlaner like Centaur or Axe, the Weaver would have been bad because you have a really nice Lifestealer combo. But here you only have Lion almost. Tusk kinda, I guess, but not really, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been good, but Juggernaut is so good against Darkseer in lane. You just spin the Iron Shell, and Darkseer is his latest nerfs are like he has been so nerfed compared to before. It was like he has been like for like 3 years he has been getting small nerfs, you know. But this last time it was a really hard nerf. Like the Iron Shell mana cost is ridiculous. You can use 3 Iron Shells level 1 or something. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, it completely sucks in it.
I wonder how it's gonna be played though. I've played this hero a bit on offlane, but I don't know like how you're supposed to make it work now. Because before it was pretty easy. You like you can rush the Soul Ring, or you buy Three Clarities, and you like you just put Iron Shell and you go and use the Shrine and you jungle a little bit. But now it's like you can use like 2 to 3 Iron Shell, and then you go to the Shrine, and then you're like, well, I can go put 2 more Iron Shells, but then I'm out of mana already, and I don't have gold for Soul Ring yet, probably.
Yeah. Where do you bring the Tusk in this game? Do you just try and kill the Legion as much as possible? Does it feel like there's an opening with the Darkseer if they dual lane there? I mean, it's against a Juggernaut. It's a very difficult kill, it feels.
I think you try and counter the Treant mainly. Just try and deal with top lane mainly, and then maybe be ready to... You can be on top or bottom, then be ready to counter gank the other lane with a TP or something. I think that's the main thing you do. It's pretty hard to pressure bottom. Yeah.
Gonna walk into each other.
Classic. I think it's easier. I think Vega are gonna get the D ward for sure. Meanwhile, FNG has a bit harder time because this ward it can be in a few different spots that Sioma put down. That one could be in like a few different spots, but the ward. Oh, yeah, he got it actually. He got one of them at least. So that's pretty nice. Maybe they... I mean, these are also like teams know each other well, this team. So they like know ward spots quite well. So DK4 was going Iron Talent, by the way. So this is like riskier because you're playing as a Treant, you know, one Invis hero that can mess with you quite a lot. But I think this hero, like I talked about, like how do you lane? It's so hard. So Iron Talent solves the issue to a pretty good extent.
Yeah, it'll take a while for the recognition as well, it feels, from Vega's side to actually start to go pressure the Darkseer. He should be at least level 2 by that time.
Yeah, so he's gonna have, he's probably gonna get a decent time on Soul Ring. And when you got the Soul Ring, that's when your problems are more or less solved. Sioma, let's see where he's gonna head after the block. Probably gonna head top. Yeah, that seems natural. So that's gonna be nice for
no
DK
pun intended. Man, look at this Treant's nose. That is some scary shit. Mid lane. Iceberg gonna catch an arrow to the face, but FNG, he's nearby alongside his sniper. G definitely very comfortable on this Mirana. Saw that this morning, but in general, really loves to play this mid lane. Silent, doing silent things.
It's fine. Wonder what his item build on Mirana. I'm not really a believer in Axe Rush anymore.
He did build it earlier. This game against the Lifestealer, perhaps he considers a different route. But in the previous game, it was against a PA, so Magic Burst always very nice against a PA early on.
I kind of like the idea of Midas on this hero now. So you go Midas and then you kind of choose what you do. I feel like that's pretty... Oh god, what? Did you see that?
I did not.
He leaped into 2 people. He was maybe just baiting FNG. I don't know.
He's just a man. Had the Salve coming out. Maybe forces out the Shrine usage here. FNG Iceberg doesn't end up backing off. FNG still on the high ground. Perhaps just giving G the illusion that he's backed out. Yoma under the cover of a sentry here. Top lane. And where's the action gonna happen? Arrow gonna take out the range creep here. G does have the pounce though, so should feel pretty survivable going forward in lane. Vanscore. Yoma just gonna try and steal away the bounty rune from him. Sentry is just out of range for the dire side, so be relatively easy take. Vanscore tries for the blind impale on the bounty rune and actually whiffs it. Gets bashed up. Leech Seed is there as well. Treant hitting real hard with the Orb of Venom, but he's able to make it underneath the tower. And Afterlife will continue one-on-one to trade with BZZ. Aloha Dance has had a completely free and clear time, as has Silent in the jungle. Much like the story of last game. So as long as G is able to hold its own, it feels like the early game going very well for Vega.
Yeah, this is looking some great laning from Vega. The Lion pick kind of, now that I see it, like, you know, this is hard for him. There's a Treant that basically can solo kill him. And I think FNG spend time mid, which is great because now Sniper has an advantage. But I feel like the Lion is struggling a lot because of FNG's movement. Meanwhile, Crystal Maiden is doing the exact same thing she did last game, but this time with a DD and farming even faster.
G in mid lane, only 8 CS, but you know, FNG essentially present in the entire early bit in that lane, so definitely not unhappy with her. She's at Vanscore, going to make a pull over to a double stacked large camp here, so she'll be able to deny most of that up before Sioma and Afterlife catch wind of this. We'll get 2 creeps down, but Afterlife does have a couple levels in the overwhelming odds, so should be able to farm up this stack. FNG and Vanscore nearby though. BZZ gonna take a big overwhelming odds to Dukin from the Sate here, actually gonna keep Afterlife's aggression at bay. Meanwhile, DK Phobos, he's now made his way towards lane bottom, and Aloha Dance gonna have to deal with him.
It's only level 1 frostbite. This seems a bit too hard. Never mind, I'm probably completely wrong.
So G will leap in and they get the Starfall off. Had the Nova as well, so
yeah, I mean, if FNG had been there, that could have been 2 kills for Team Spirit, but a bit too late. Gonna find in this, maybe they can make a play with that. But Silent again, he had a great game last game, and he's looking like he's gonna have a just as good game this time, so far at least.
As you mentioned, Invisru snagged up by FNG. He's going to make his way over towards the top lane. And Afterlife, he stepped forward. He could be in a lot of trouble here. Vanscore may end up going down first. Shards come through. Afterlife still has a press the attack. And Sioma even going to drop the living armor on him. Going to be able to purge off the open wounds and just waltz away towards the shrine.
That's pretty sad. Again, FNG, that was like good position for him. He counter ganked that perfectly. But still, they lose a hero and they get nothing in trade. So struggling a lot again here in the early games for Team Spirit, especially FNG. Again, having
Iceberg could be in trouble
pretty
here.
Sad time.
Mid lane as well. Arrow gonna fly out. He will be able to dodge it. Silent rotating around. There is dire vision though to be able to spot him this time. Silent came into the mid lane and refilled G's bottle. So G happy to stay in lane. Iceberg will salve up for the time being. Meanwhile, Aloha Dance is going to pressure in to this tier 1 in the off lane. DK Phobos just now TPing down towards that tier 2 to try and fend him off, but 50% of the damage already dealt. And Aloha Dance, you know, 39 CS by far and away is the top.
Silent has paid for his sins, I think, or maybe Iceberg has.
FNG needs to snowball save, and the living armor is actually going to keep FNG up. Now the leap forward aggressively from G will get the Iceberg kill, ends up dropping for it.
Oh, he leaving the armor Silent instead of G.
Yeah.
Maybe G could have survived. I think it would have gone down either way, but...
Yeah. Well, the living armor came out a few seconds earlier, so yeah. Didn't save it there, but... Vanscore, he's going to get Leech Seed. And...
took like half his HP in 2 seconds.
Couple of right clicks and half his HP. FNG almost catches an arrow, but will be able to dodge it and pick up the double damage rune. Silent is going to connect with the Nova onto Iceberg. Oh, and the shards do catch Silent. He's more than likely going to drop here. They get the Moonlight Shadow off. He's out of sentry range and gets a living armor off just in time. They will end up popping the shrine. Iceberg will reconvene with his teammates for a bit of that love. Meanwhile, Aloha Dance still farming bottom lane, 46 CS to his name. He's atop the net worth chart by a pretty considerable margin as well. So all things considered, Vega pretty happy with how this is going.
Oh god. After I just solo killed BCC.
No duel even used, so can continue to press forward.
I was gonna mention that Legion is a great hero in lane against Lifestealer compared to most.
FNG.
He's gonna go down as well.
Overwhelming odds finish him off. A double kill for Afterlife. And he'll...
Bottom lane, this is like people are trying to duke and get the tower lost hits and stuff. Lawrence is gonna get out actually.
He's able to get the tower last hit as well. Has his phase boots. One component on the way to the Yasha, and top lane, they have the duel for BZZ. They get the impale off onto Vanscore. They're going to go in on Sioma, and they should be able to kill him off. 3 heroes top lane for that. Meanwhile, mid lane, G.
A good rotation
from FNG, and yeah, they will be able to turn the fight onto Sioma. Afterlife still has a duel ready, 10 stick charges as well, so can be a deceptive threat here. Gonna throw out the overwhelming odds onto BZZ. Aloha Dance is gonna be joined up bottom lane by Sioma, and perhaps if the Darkseer shows, they can go in for the bash.
The prize is mine.
2 levels in Nature's Guys as well, so he's going. Looks like he's gonna max Nature's Guys, which against this team I think is fine. Against Lifestealer, you like perma stun him.
Just close, but the Omni gets there from distance for Aloha. And he'll find DK Phobos without even needing a right click from Sioma. Afterlife having a good time top lane as well. BZZ now going to show his face. Overwhelming odds is there. BZZ forced to back out, but the Lion...
Is there?
Yeah, well, it looks like he may have been baiting, and yeah, they get the Hex off in time. Press the attack though with the living armor. Is it enough to keep him alive? The Shrouds bounce him out. Super unfortunate. No rage for another 4 seconds. Overwhelming odds going to connect on both supports. But no one else rotating in quickly enough. G is coming from the east, but there's a dire ward. Well, he's under the cover of Moonlight Shadow. And he finds a straggler on the back. FNG will be the one there. Arrow not going to connect, but he will jump forward. Dodge on the Starfall from the Snowball. They will be able to hex up G. They'll surge up BZZ as well, and they'll bring down the Mirana. Big overwhelming odds, though. And the duel is ready as well. This is a ballsy one for Afterlife. He gets the duel damage, ends up dying for it. Meanwhile, Sioma picks off FNG on the Treant. He's under the cover of a sentry. BZZ no mana, though, for open wounds. Iceberg nearby. Sioma, he's made it over towards the east. And no more detection ready for at least the present heroes. Meanwhile, up by the shrine, Silent in trouble, assassinated. And FNG will find that kill. But Aloha Dance, all the meanwhile, has been right-clicking buildings. Bottom lane. And puts the tier 2 just outside of deny range.
Aloha Dance, just all these 3 games, he just stands on his lane and pushes and does whatever he wants. Like, this is the 3rd game, he does more or less the exact same thing, just different heroes. So it's pretty funny how the games turns out. I think this is a lot because of how they drop. That they really like having Aloha Dance on, like playing a very solo-ish carry role, and Silent plays a bit more like CM and jungles and stuff like that.
Mid lane, Iceberg gonna tango up with FNG, finds himself an Invis room. Nova, though, it's going to connect as FNG's off to the east. Could this just be the split second they need to kill off Iceberg? They get the second Starfall on him, but it's not enough burst. Now they'll snowball forward. FNG, though, not level 6. Assassinate comes out. Frostbite's there in time. Living Armor is there as well. Yeah, infused range up, good item. Be still up. Living Armor is there. Aloha Dance dealing with bottom lane. Is going to force out the Glyph. BZZ needs to be careful here.
This is pretty fun to watch.
And Aloha Dance will find the tower.
Maybe I'll play both BZZ here and then DK Phobos earlier with the tower kills, because it was like the exact same situation again, and he got it.
He'll find both last hits there. All tier 1, still very healthy for the Radiant side, and kind of the merits of having a Treant in your lineup. So very difficult for Spirit to be able to take those and establish some semblance of map control. Sioma, though, is wrapping on Iceberg. He finds the bash. The leech seed is there, and the arrow with the overgrowth. They do have the snowball, though, inbound. Sioma, he split off to the north. They'll get off the Moonlight Shadow. Sentry will be there in time, though, to secure the assassinate. Now Aloha Dance, he's rotated in G under the cover of Sentry. They are going to find Vanscore, and Vanscore, he'll drop his entire load into G. A leap away from the Mirana will be just fine. It's going to have to soak up the entire Omni Slash. The Nova will be there, but there's still a Snowball. And the Ion Shell vacuum back. Aloha Dance going to die as well. Signs of life here for Spirit, as Afterlife, he's a little bit too late to the fray. And now TP inbound from Sioma mid lane. He does not have the overgrowth, though. So Team Spirit feeling pretty safe to pressure this tower. However, very difficult to just chip at a tower with a Treant. You really need to fully commit for it. Overwhelming Odds is going to connect onto 2, and that'll force Team Spirit back. And the damage that they get on the tower will be relatively inconsequential, but the fight overall, certainly very much so positive for them.
You could have gone even better. But we see already this game, FNG, even his rotation has not been perfect. It's not played perfect, but it's looked so much better now that the Earth Spirit is not ruining everything he's trying to do. It seems like a game where we could actually see this Tusk having a lot of impact. Already I'm feeling he's doing so much better than both of the earlier games.
He's gonna build into the Aghanim's. He's got about halfway there. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Sioma.
I wonder if he's gonna get solo killed by Sioma. Only 3 levels in Asia, guys. With 4, I think it's
he
possible.
only has Windlace Dust. This is a poor lion.
Oh,
poor lion.
He's waiting for the support. But... Oh, meanwhile, it's happening stuff top. And I'm not watching. Hello, Dan.
Yeah, he's gonna get punched up. No Omni Slash, no Blade
now.
Fury. Now they're going on Vanscore. He's gonna get the Hex off, Impale, but Valent there with the Frostbite. They're TPing in. One more right click will end up bringing him down. They get the dust off in the meantime. Iceberg able to drop a shrapnel, but no support inbound for him. And yeah, they will be able to make it away. So top lane, they do end up getting Aloha Dance though, which is a very valuable target.
Definitely the better trade. I thought bottom was more amusing, but this was definitely the better thing up here. Afterlife going Armlet, this is something I want to mention as well. Blade Mail is very good on Legion generally, but against a hero like Life Stealer, you probably want Armlet. You want survivability more because Blade Mail doesn't reflect as much on a hero, on a strength hero.
Yeah, he's got the Feast as well. Kind of mitigate the effectiveness of that. Afterlife, yeah, opts for the Armlet. Meanwhile, mid lane, G desperately trying to farm up the remainder of his Aghanim's. Still, though, holding his own alongside the Lifestealer and Iceberg.
Top lane, 2 versus 2 here, 2 cores versus...
Phobos. Vacuum back into Afterlife. Does have to press the attack.
It's a hard kill. He's gonna press the attack away. Actually silent though, kinda.
Yeah, perhaps with the vacuum used, he felt like he could walk in here. Going for the duel now, though. And Sioma nearby. They get the Omni off. Will they get the damage? They do. Looking to go find the DS as well. Jump forward, Finger of Death, and the Walrus Punch. Oh, nice 3-man overgrowth, though. And G gonna leap in with the Starfall. Surge away for DK Phobos, and it looks like he'll be able to make it out. Assassinate may just end up killing off G here. The Healing Ward, though, and the Living Armor there in time to keep him in healthy fighting shape. Sioma gonna try to go in onto Iceberg. Aloha Dance chasing behind. DK Phobos be able to make it away. Has a surge as well, but G on the south side hits an arrow on the Lion, and we'll get the 3rd kill on the back end of that. So Afterlife ends up dying, but does get the duel on the Lifestealer, and the follow-up from his team thereafter tips the scales to their advantage.
Midas on BCC. I talked about Lifestealer and Midas earlier. I'm just gonna go with here. I think it's a good decision. This game is probably gonna be a bit slower paced than the other ones. It's a bit harder for Vega are not snowballing as hard, and it's kind of hard to start killing everybody in this game, like diving and stuff.
Oh, Aloha Dance, he's been hexed up. Press the attack is there though, and now they're gonna go super aggressive onto Afterlife because of it. He's able to Armlet toggle for the time being. Silent. He's feeling a little bit unsafe to try and save him, and we'll just pop the freezing field as soon as the vacuum is used. Up on the top of the high ground, they will end up killing her off with the shards. Aloha Dance, he's in trouble now. Has a spin in 1 second, but it could be just too late for him. He's trying to make it away. Surge forward with the Lifestealer, the Healing Ward, keeping him safe for now. Shards are going to be there. Assassinate finishes him off, and now Sioma in trouble as well. And Team Spirit are definitely showing some resolve in this game 3, down 2-0. Gonna knot it up 14 all, and they should be able to take this tower down too. With 18 seconds, having Sioma the Treant on the sidelines. G nearby is very close to his Aghanim himself. Does not want to die now. Just needs these last couple of creeps to pick it up.
This banning Earthbiter was definitely the play. This Tusk is doing so much more. He's really focusing correct there as well. He could have rolled on Legion, I think, or maybe on Jugger, but he rolled on Legion, knowing that that's the hero you need to kill first. So really focusing up here and playing really well. Yeah, and
Sioma, you know, as flashy as he's been, he's just kind of on a more passively, innately more passively natured hero on the Treant, as opposed to going for something like a Ricky.
Treant's gonna maybe break this smoke. Do they have dust? Oh, not breaking it yet.
Vanscore does have dust on his person, but Sioma walking quickly under the cover of Nature's Skies is able to make it away, and with that, Rank was active. Dire Scan is going to clip Afterlife. And they are going to TP in FNG. Maybe look for the Infest Bomb here. There's a Arcane Rune on BZZ, but it looks like they'll just be farming the Ancients for now. Afterlife showing mid lane. Shards will fly out, and they do catch him. Now surge forward from Vanscore. They go for the Moonlight Shadow. Dust is going to catch Sioma. 3-man Overgrowth, but there's no real follow-up just yet. Arrow going to fly. Doesn't connect.
That was a bit funny. 5-man rotation from Team Spirit, and they forced an Overgrowth, I guess, but it doesn't seem like they will like manage to capitalize on that. Seems like they're just gonna go back to farming, which I think is the safer option. They kind of lack initiation right now. This only Tusk Snowball. They really want the Blink Dagger on offline.
Surge is there for Vanscore, and they'll find Afterlife. Does have the armlet, unable to activate it. Finger of Death will finish him off. Now G. Invis Rune, Ags ready. And maybe take the Courier here and try and run out.
They need to defend bottom now, though. I guess FNG can do it.
Vanscore could be in trouble. Arrow from G, not going to be deployed. And FNG going to deal with the bottom lane. G now looking for the lone Darks here. Top lane.
No TP.
We will see Surge away. And a timely extraction from the top lane for the Darks here. Aloha Dance, meanwhile. It's a bit of chip damage done on the tier 3. But nothing of major consequence.
Yeah, I want to see some items. Mech is up on Darks here. He has had it a bit. He's going for the Blink next. Silent is struggling a lot compared to earlier games. Aloha Dance is doing great. G is doing great. Afterlife is actually starting quite a lot. He got a good armlet timing, but he hasn't been able to transition into the Blink afterwards.
Silent trying to make it out. Oh, Vacuum brings him back. Down to Earth, and Silent will drop. Aloha Dance, meanwhile, mid lane going to be assassinated, but does get the Blade Fury off. Purges the open wounds as well. So he'll be able to make it out of mid lane safely. They do, however, lose the Crystal Maiden. Meanwhile, G pushing in top lane is going to be hexed up by the surged up Vanscore. Gets the Impale off too, but he does have the leap in just a second. Dust is there for Moonlight Shadow.
They got Sioma actually.
Continue to chase. They will find, however, yes, the Treant Protector to the east. He gets the living armor off, but it should be just a quick matter of time before he's dropped. Aloha Dance back to work in the bottom lane, but nowhere near the tier 3, so not an immediate threat.
The prize is mine.
I think that's gonna buy enough space for Afterlife to farm the Blink. Still good for Team Spirit. They are. I think this is looking like a good game for them.
Yep. Definitely the best so far.
Vega are farming well, but so are Team Spirit. Darkseid especially seems like he could become a big threat. He's quite high level. Not the best farm, but he's doing very good in levels especially. Yeah,
Afterlife's finally retreated to spend some time to hit creeps, and he's looking to pick up his Blink Dagger, which he should do relatively shortly, sitting on 2k gold. So that'll be a big ramp up in potential, it feels, for Vega's side. EZZ. He's got armlet too.
Team Spirit's biggest issue, so to say, is getting Vanscore a Blink eventually. He needs to be able to get this at a certain point, but that could be very late, and I think that's the biggest issue for them right now. Because the Darkseid is gonna get the Blink, but he doesn't really have anyone to combo good with. FNG can do it to an extent, but it's such a hard play, you know, rolling and vacuum at a good timing. So you really need the Blink from Lion to make that play reliable.
Looks like we may see a smoke middle lane, Vega. We're gonna meet up.
Got the Blink now. He has the money at least.
Purchased up, so perhaps they just wait for the Courier here, but it will convene nonetheless. Vanscore waiting up top lane alongside BZZ. They're just gonna at least look for an easy push on the tier 1. The smoke into Roche for now. They'll use the Manta Illusions to tank it up. And Aloha Dance will get to work.
I think that this is gonna work out. It's pretty hard to scout and it dies pretty fast. And it's pretty hard to fight into Roche here without at least... they have Blink on Darkseid, but even then they kinda need the Blink on Lion or have a sick play by FNG. So. probably gonna be too late for this.
Yeah, G just showed moments ago bot lane as well, so kind of giving them the illusion that they may be grouped up behind G. Instead, in the Roche pit, Aloha Dance will grab himself up an extra life as they pop the Moonlight Shadow, leaving the pit. Now top lane may be threatened here. This is a triumvirate of the Darkseer, Lion, and Lifestealer. They do end up smoking though.
Oh,
Sioma able to break this. Silent
this
gets his
seems
smoke
risky
caught,
by Spirit.
and they will hex up Silent. He gets the bash off onto the Lifestealer though, and the 3-man overgrowth. Now Silent in trouble. Silent's going to be dropped. They are going to find Sioma as well with the snowball, and the Treant certainly in trouble. Now down to the bottom lane, they get the Omni Slash off onto BZZ and the duel. And it looks like the Lifestealer does end up going down first. The Finger of Death kills off Afterlife though on the back end. Aloha Dance, he's still sitting on Aegis, just right-clicking down after the arrow onto Iceberg. Snowball's a bit too late to save the sniper, and FNG, he may suffer the same fate. Sioma still surviving somehow on this Treant. Aloha Dance a little bit low, but does have the Aegis, can continue forward. No Finger of Death on the Lion, so shouldn't worry about being instantly bursted anymore. But Afterlife barely does his job there, does get the dual win. And no damage on the Lifestealer. And we'll find BZZ to the south. Almost soaks up the entire Omni Slash, I would assume, from Juggernaut.
Yeah, I think Spirit split up a little. It looked first Vega split up. Treant started running for the woods. Theme was dead already, and Team Spirit could definitely just kill Sioma and then been happy with it. But PCC wanted more, and he kind of ran into three cores alone, and just died. And the team wasn't ready to back him up. If only Phobos had been there a second earlier, it might have been amazing. But they were not really coordinated there, and it ended up them dropping a lot of heroes and another tower down.
He's gonna find himself a haste rune, and yeah. All the outer tier tower, all the towers, period, still on the map for the Radiant side. So if Spirit ever win one of these fights decisively, there is a lot of gold still left on the map for them. So perhaps, you know, if you're looking at it positively, they have kept up in farm with all these buildings still available, but the map just seems a little bit small from their perspective. And they will look to regroup around this tier 1 bottom, where G is gonna...
Yeah. Vega dropping this. It seems like they're just rotating out, kind of maybe get mid tower for it as a trade. Aloha that has Aegis, he probably feels comfortable to take this.
Yeah, they're rotating up the Vanscore Lion. He's moving pretty quickly with his Tranquil, so gonna need FNG to get him into the fray, but Aloha Dance is not an easy kill by any stretch. Meanwhile, Afterlife is gonna find the Lion on the high ground, and with 4 right clicks, finish him off and get some juicy dual damage. They'll also allow them to take out...
to cancel Lifestealer's TP, so Lifestealer does not have a TP to get home. They might actually go high ground on top lane.
G is already top. Iceberg right-clicking into him. He'll throw out the arrow just as a zoning one effectively. Gets the living armor up. Meanwhile, mid lane, Manta Illusion's being dealt with by FNG. Afterlife going to press the attack on the Surge Creep. And gets off a decent chunk of damage onto the tier 3. So cheeky play from Sioma.
Yeah, very nice. Like they do the small things correctly, and they get a bunch of extra. Lifestealer wastes his time. He has to run all the way to top lane to make sure that they don't commit. So he's not farming during this minute. Meanwhile, Vega just falls back, farms the entire opponent jungle, and then now they're gonna try and counter this smoke, which I think they saw, did they? Maybe not actually. Sioma is breaking it though.
Full set of Greaves on Phobos alongside his Blink. And they will search for Advanced Core looking for someone, but everyone has made their way over to the northwest for Vega side. They are under the cover of a dire ward, or were briefly at least. So stalking mid lane, G surge up from Vanscore, and they find, but the pressy attack is there, and she gets the pounce off, vacuum back. Has the extra move speed, does the Legion Commander, looking for the surged up DK Phobos, but he will make it away. Meanwhile, on the north side, big overgrowth arrow gonna find the kill onto Iceberg. Omni Slash through all the heroes of Team Spirit. BZZ in trouble now. The Starfall will finish him off. And a beautiful flank from the north side from Aloha and Sioma. And a nice press the attack from the high ground from the Legion is essentially what sets that up. as they look just for the clean pick on G, but don't find it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, blink in from the Legion. Won't be able to find the Darkseer, but the push is commencing elsewhere in the top lane, where Aloha Dance still has a residual duration of the Aegis, just reclaimed now, so he will be regenning up. And they will put some punishment into this melee. Rax arrow gonna fly out, just barely whiffs onto FNG. Afterlife mid lane is alone, but does make the blink out as they look to go on him with the shards. And now Aloha Dance into the melee Rax he goes. Vanscore taking out one of the illusions, and backdoor protection has activated here, but because it's a range Rax, less armor, they are able to take it out. First lane of Rax of the game gonna go the way of Vega here, 27 minutes in. As the Lifestealer responds, they'll look to take the shrine. And it doesn't seem like the response will be fired here from Spirit, as they'll get a shrine and a lane of Rax for Vega.
I don't think Team Spirit can fight until they have Answer Blink. They don't have the initiation follow-up together with Darkseer. And you can't really fight Vega anymore because of that. You need the line of blink before you take it. But when you get it, you could actually just turn this game with one vacuum Earth Spike. So you kind of have to wait for that chance. The next Roche is a bit far off, so you're probably getting the blink until that point, and that's your big chance for sure. So they have to wait for that. I really wouldn't like them to see going aggressive or anything. They picked up a gem as well too. So this is like an all-in thing. If they lose this gem, it's probably game.
Gonna try and snatch back some sort of area worth of vision with that gem, and they should be able to at least deward the base and the nearby surrounding areas with that. But Dire have, you know, quite a bit of the map illuminated for themselves, and for now it seems to just play it safe until the next Roche is up, farm the next set of items, get that Aegis. Afterlife probably has something flying out now. Yeah, it is going to be his full BKB up as well, so less concerned, you know, with the Tusk Tools kit and the Darkseer vacuum as well.
Yeah, the double the BKB on G and Offlight is very scary now. You basically have to time the vacuum Earth Spike perfectly. If you fail it by like 0.1 second, you're probably losing the fight just because of that. And now they're smoking up. Only one guy in front though. BCC broke the smoke, unfortunately.
Moonlight Shadow will pop jump forward. They do find Afterlife, and they will blow him up with the Finger of Death. Arrow look to seem to hit on a creep. They will be able to bring down the Crystal Maiden as well. Silent going to drop. Aloha Dance is able to blink out to the west, so they'll get a tier 1. Not a bad...
Very nice. That's a one-man vacuum, and it still made that big of a difference. They just killed 2 people straight up, so finally they blink on last up. It's so big, and now...
Finding a lot of time to right click in that fight. He does 1500 damage.
This is some insane plays by Vega though. They're instantly 2 people on side lane. They could actually... Can they break TPs? Oh, Sioma!
Oh, he isn't able to get Vanscore. Iceberg nearby, and they will end up killing him off. Meanwhile, EKB pop by G. Is he able to make it away? He has a leap. Try and TP out, and looks like he will make it, just barely. Aloha Dance, meanwhile, finds a kill onto DK Phobos. They don't get the tier 3 in mid lane, but they will really discombobulate Spirit there by canceling the TPs. And going to be able to find a decent trade off the back end of what looked like them just to lose 2 heroes and a tower in the mid lane.
Fortunately, he didn't manage to stop all TPs. They kind of TP'd. I'm not sure if I should call it. Like, they TP'd in a bit of a weird, like, one guy TP'd, and then it took a while for the next guy TP'd, and then it took a while for the first, so he couldn't mass cancel. If he mass cancelled, it would have been game straight up. So, but still, that was very good for Vega. Just getting this tower down is one step further to win any game.
And the gem actually picked up by Aloha Dance here.
Yeah,
so
that's painful. That's a big loss. That's like losing a core more or less at this stage for Team Spirit.
Easy Might is still taking away. Looking to go into the Manta here.
Yeah, against the Treant specifically, so he can just Manta off that as well. Lifestealer Manta isn't as it's relatively common nowadays to remove like silence and stuff like that as well. So it's been picked up a little bit lately. Roche is very soon up, right? Like seconds almost.
Yep. Scan is gonna catch though. Yoma in front. But there's no sentry on the ground. Afterlife going to jump forward with the BKB. He finds BZZ, and there's nothing Vanscore can do about this. But BZZ, very tanky. Big overgrowth going to come through. FNG, though, is there. Overwhelming Oz doing a lot of work. And now the freezing field from Silent. They will be able to bring him down eventually with BZZ. Aloha Dance, though, standing and fighting 1v1. G now finally going to join the fray. Brings down Vanscore in the backlines. And Iceberg in trouble as well. Omnislash going to fly through. Iceberg's going to drop to that second star, dropping. And now with the Diffusal Blade, DK Phobos going to be finished off. BZZ, he gets arrowed just on... Oh, it was a bash. That was just like some insane timing. I thought the rage expired, but...
I think it might have as well, but the bash definitely was
yeah.
for sure. I think it might have been like... so close to winning. It was a great fight as well. Yeah. But they're so far ahead. They're so far behind, rather, that Vega just overpowers them.
Yeah,
G jumps in backlines and just destroys everyone.
G was not present for the beginning, and they weren't able to kill off BZZ in the duel, but you know, he eventually returns, and everyone survives, which is the key because of that big overgrowth from the tree end. So G able to re-engage on the backlines, and you know, the Vanscore and FNG just very poor at this stage of the game. Looking at, you know, 3,300 net worth, 33 minutes in. So he just blows them up rather quickly. And they do force out the buyback from BZZ, so he's going to be a little bit further behind. Afterlife, he's going to BKB, press the attack, go for the racks, and will be able to make it.
No bashes or anything. No Walrus Punch either. I think, yeah, he might have seen FNG use Walrus Punch, and then like, okay, I can go in for these tracks now. So pretty good play by him. That's also the fact we saw the vacuum earthquake was timed like 0.3 missed, like it's too late, and that just meant that Jugger got spin off before and all of this stuff, which means that they lose the fight. Otherwise, that could have probably turned out to be another victory for Team Spirit.
Yeah, again a beautiful freezing field as well from Silent. He's been on point all series with his Crystal Maiden ultimate's been very patient, waiting out kind of the litany of disables that Team Spirit have, and then being able to drop it. And now Roche will be the reward for that team fight acquired by Vega. And now with two melee racks, a full lane and a melee racks bottom missing, and the Aegis, I'll look for Vega to start marching down the lane and trying to end this one. Team Spirit, though, they are positioned up on the high ground. They do have the blink. They do have the blink from Vanscore as well, which they haven't had almost all game. No one quite nearby. Afterlife, he's going to walk up high ground, will get hexed instantly and brought down. G was thinking about it, gets the BKB off, and he is going to drop a double starfall. It's a buyback coming out from Afterlife. Meanwhile, Silent and Vanscore duking it out on the backlines. FNG, though, he's going to drop to G. Sioma coming through. Vacuum connects onto 2 with the wall. They get the overgrowth off, though. DK Phobos, he is able to try and surge away, but he gets bashed up, and the Diffusal Blade charge there for Aloha Dance, keeping him nearby. He will end up dropping. Lifestealer gets low, does have to base. FNG, this is off the buyback, is going to end up dropping really low, gets the spin, snowball off, excuse me, but the spin is there from Aloha Dance. Meanwhile, on the west side, BZZ, right-click down by Afterlife. He's down for 80 seconds, no buyback on the Lifestealer. Assassinate going to bring G low, but they have the healing ward. They jump forward. They have the Hex. Do they have the damage? So Overwhelming Odds going to connect on 2. Meanwhile, Silent drops the ultimate over to the north side. FNG in trouble. He's going to defensively snowball. Aloha Dance is nearby. Iceberg in trouble. They'll bring him down. FNG next to fall. Double kill for G. G getting low. Bash onto Vanscore, though, and GG is called. And the celebratory duel victory gives G an ultra kill on his Marana. This is definitely a hero that we've seen him get work done on. And you know, watching these two teams come through the bracket, I assumed this game would go, or this series would go at least 4, if not 5 games. We definitely agreed. You know, Spirit adapted nicely in Game 3 with the draft. This was certainly, you know, the most promising one they had put together, and FNG seemed more effective on his Tusk, but Vega just seemed one step ahead in teamfight execution specifically in this one.
Vega really showing who's boss here in this best of 5, especially Aloha Dance. I feel like he played amazing all games. G last game as well, absolute incredible performance on a Mirana mid, which is not the most common where they used it, so it's but pretty damn good. A 3-0 is they didn't drop a single game the entire qualifier, right?
That is definitely possible. There may have been 1 2-1 series, but I definitely recall a lot of 2-0s coming.
So that's very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, Vega standing head and shoulders above competition here. But yeah, as you mentioned, the key is that when Sioma isn't absolutely wrecking the early to mid game, and playing a more passive hero like the Tree and G and Aloha Dance easily pick up the slack. Silent played well almost every game, from his support role, and the team just seems to enable each other a lot, and a lot of that comes from the draft and the lanes where they're able to get away with these kind of greedy configurations and leave Aloha by himself in the 1v1s. So really well played, really well drafted overall for Vega, and they're going to make it through to the LAN finals. Do you think, from what you've seen today, they have a chance against, I'm sure they have a chance against VCJ, but teams like IG and Newbie, does Vega have anything for them?
They're the underdogs for sure, but I feel like these CIS teams, when it comes to lands, I feel like they can overperform insanely. You see Empire in the AC, they destroy some teams, and then they come back to EU and they start losing to a bunch of random teams almost. So it's I feel like these CIS teams are can become truly monsters when it comes to lands. So I wouldn't be incredibly surprised if we see them doing very well.
Yeah, so we'll see how they fare. That's May 18th. They've secured their spot out of the EU qualifier in the LAN in Shanghai for the Season 2 of the Star Ladder Invitational. Guys, until then, I hope you enjoyed the cast. MRP here, Kefka. You can follow Kefka over on Twitter at Kefka Dota, Kefka Dota. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast. If you didn't, throw me a flame on Reddit or Twitter. Why not? Till then, guys, MRP, Kefka, signing out here on behalf of Beyond the Summit. Hope you enjoyed and enjoy the Kiev Major.